Hey y'all, what's up? It's Loren LoRosa letting you know that when it comes to accident or injury cases, Top Dog Law is a name that you should know. Whether it's a car wreck, slip and fall, construction site injury, don't play games with your future. Top Dog Law doesn't settle for those lowball answers. They get you top dollar, period. The call is completely free and you don't pay unless you win. So call Top Dog Law today or hit them up on Instagram at Top Dog Law or visit topdoglaw.com. These are real cases. You get real results. Top Dog gets it done.
Hold up. Every day I wake up, wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
So yesterday, last night, the judge in Diddy's case actually submitted his decision on whether Diddy's charges can be acquitted or if he can get a new trial, and he said no. So basically what the judge is saying is that Diddy's arguments that he's making in order to ask for these things don't stand. Some of the things that he mentioned in his letter, it was a 16-page letter that he submitted in response. He talked about, you know, the whole back and forth around like with the definition of prostitution, and you know, he's saying what Diddy is saying doesn't stand. He also mentions the fact that Diddy's team kept leaning on, at the time that people were being transported, the intention wasn't to have sex. Remember, it was like, oh, we just were inviting them to enjoy time with
conversation,
them. And if they decided to do that, that was their choice. The judge also he wasn't buying that as well. So the judge is saying that Diddy, the judge is saying that because of this, Diddy will have to go into sentencing and he is not going to grant any of this whatsoever. And at the same time, like right before this letter came in, the prosecutors, they begin submitting their sentencing package. Now that sentencing package is almost 200 pages long, and in there they say Diddy should serve 11 years and 3 months, and also pay up to $500,000 in fines. And the reason why they're saying this is, well, first of all, you know, with both of the Mann Act counts, he's looking at up to 20 years, 10
Correct.
each, right, for each count. They're saying that, you know, Diddy's team is trying to point to, and in the letters that they submitted from all these people, trying to point to him being a changed man and, you know, him working on himself and wanting to continue to work on himself and abide by the law and all these things. And they point directly to the apology that Diddy issued after the Cassie beating video came out. And they also mention the fight that he got into with the woman who was listed as Jane while he was waiting for all of the trial stuff to begin, like in the midst of all of that stuff, after he knew he was indicted. Now, I will say in that Jane situation, people were pointing out the fact that she got on the stand and said that she got physical with him first. But the prosecutors do use that point and they say, you know, he bust through 5 doors at this time. This man is not somebody who's going to look at the law and abide by it because he's used to having power. There's also a letter from Cassie that was submitted yesterday, not only from her, but also her parents submitted a letter on the prosecution's behalf. Her ex-stylist and a really close friend, and also someone who was formerly a friend of Diddy's, a guy named Deontay Nash, and a few other people submitted some letters. And in Cassie's letter, she talks about a lot. One of the biggest things that she says is that she feels like her time on the stand shows why people don't really care for victims or care to protect victims. She says, you know, the jury and, you know, all these people watched her testify about everything that happened to her, all of the beating, all of the bruises, all these things. And yet, and still, you know, there were a lot of things that Diddy's not going to have to answer to in court. But the things that he will have to answer to, these 2 counts of the Mann Act, he should. And it is it's an injustice to allow him to serve a lesser sentence because of anything. She talks about still having nightmares over the situations that she's been through with Diddy. She talked a little bit about the suicide attempt that she talked about on the stand as well.
Was Cassie involved with some of those as well? Like some of those, I would say, prostitutes said that Cassie reached out to them and they had things with Cassie without Diddy there, right? No,
I don't remember anything without Diddy.
I'm asking.
I do wonder if Cassie's testimony would have been received differently if Diddy was actually on trial for the domestic violence we saw him administer to Cassie.
Yes.
Yeah, and now I will say though, like I think
absolutely,
yeah, for sure. I think what she's saying is that, you know, he wasn't. She doesn't directly say this, but I inferred from what I read that it's like the RICO charges didn't stick, right? But now you have these 2 Mann Act counts, and just because the bigger charges or what people view as the bigger charges didn't stick, let's not act like something wasn't done where I was put in fear and I was, you know, I was made to believe I had to do these things. And she says, for over a decade, Sean Combs made me feel powerless and unimportant. My experience was real and horrific, and that deserves to be considered. While the jury did not seem to understand that, understand or believe that I engaged in freak-offs because the force and coercion that the defendant used against me. I know that that is the truth, and his sentence should reflect that. Should reflect the reality of the evidence and my lived experience as a victim. So that's her whole point. She says she's still having nightmares and that she's scared that if he's able to come home anytime soon, that he can retaliate. She alleges that Diddy would retaliate against her or her family members because these are things that they've experienced before.
I mean, there's nobody who saw that video and can't understand where Cassie is coming from with that letter. But I do know, I bet you Diddy sits around sometimes and says, what did I even pay Cassie for? What a waste of $30 million. She still testified against him, writing letters to keep him in, however much it was. I know sometimes he'd be like, what did I even pay her for?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's facts. Because the whole idea of the payment was so that she wouldn't go against him on court, right? And she wouldn't put out this lawsuit. But they wound up spanking him in her ass anyway.
Man.
I was going to say, I mean, we don't got to get into that now because I don't even think it matters.
But on Cassie's side, I'm sure she's traumatized, and I'm sure she has to relive this each and every day. And every time somebody talks about it, it pops up on her feed, her page, her family member. Her kids are going to get to an age where they're going to start to see it. So, yeah, I'm sure it's traumatizing.
And her letter to the judge, she said she had to relocate all of her family from New York. And that is because obviously she's scared about what she alleges she's scared about what might happen to her. And, once anyone's able to make something happen. So
yeah, and people, I know people like to say, oh well, she got paid, so she should be cool. That don't make that trauma go away. That don't make that fear for the individual go away.
Yeah, no, she says she's still actively working every single day to be okay. Now I will say though, the decision on the acquittal and all of that, I've been saying for probably a week or so that the judge's attitude about all of that is going to kind of tell us maybe where he's going to lean at sentencing wise. I think that is looking bad for Diddy. I was thinking maybe they would get closer to maybe 2-3 years, but now I'm kind of like I don't know if the judge really believes that I think that the judge may believe that there's more time needed in this case for Diddy to really rehabilitate himself. But that's just my prediction. I don't know if you guys have any predictions of what you think is going to happen.
I don't want to bet with Loren because Loren, she got top dog law in her back pocket, so she's probably sitting around talking to the top dog law attorney about what the hell's going on.
I would say this: I was thinking time served beforehand, but I don't think that anymore.
Why not?
I just from what you've been telling us when you go to court and the attitude of the judge and what they've been saying, I don't see time served. I don't.
Me, I don't know.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah, I don't know.
Is this on DraftKings? Is it on Prize Picks?
I'm sure it is.
It's probably on some. I don't know those
exact
sites, but it's somewhere.
Sure it is, though.
Yeah, so sentencing happens on Friday. So we're literally 2 days away from Diddy being sentenced.
What time?
10 a.m.
You gonna
Friday,
be there?
10 a.m. Yes, I am. I'm going to be there. Yes, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I don't know what sentence Diddy is going to get, but I know one thing. It's nothing worse than being at the mercy of them people. There's nothing worse than being at the mercy of the system. But the reality of the situation is Diddy put himself in this situation, so now you got to deal with the consequences of his actions.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated.
All right. Well, that is the latest with Loren. Now, when we come back, we got front page news and then Earthquake. Comedian Earthquake will be joining us. He has a new Netflix special, Joke Telling Business. We'll talk to him in a little bit. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hold up. Every day I wake up, wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?